Have you ever been so frustrated trying to get an image to look good in a Word document? Well, it turns out you don't need another app. The solution is hiding right inside Word itself. Today, we are going to unlock its surprisingly powerful and kind of hidden image editor.
You know that feeling, right? You find the perfect picture, you drop it into your report, and it just sits there, looking clunky and awkward. It can seriously make even the most professional work feel a little off.
So check this out. On the left, that's the classic problem, that clunky image stuck in a box. But on the right, that's our goal, a super clean image that just flows with the rest of the page. And the best part, we're going to get from A to B without ever leaving Microsoft Word.
Okay, so let's get into it. All this magic happens in a spot most of us just click right past. When you select an image, that Picture Format tab pops up. We're going to zoom in on the Adjust group on the far left. Think of this as your own hidden image studio.
And that's really the big secret here. You know, we think of Word for, well, words, but it has this whole suite of tools that can handle some pretty serious image editing. It's going to save you so much time and hassle from bouncing between different programs.
All right, first things first, let's start with what is probably the biggest headache for everyone, that distracting background. Getting your image prepped is absolutely the first step to making it look like a pro did it.
It's actually a really simple four-step process. First, you hit Remove Background. Now, Word's going to take its best guess. From there, you just gotta guide it. You use one tool to say, hey, keep this part, and the other to say, get rid of this part. When you're happy, you click Keep Changes, and poof, the background just vanishes.
And here's a little pro tip for you. For those really tricky edges, like around someone's hair or some other complex shape, don't be afraid to zoom way in. Trust me, it gives you so much more control, and you'll get a much cleaner, more professional-looking result.
Now, before we get all artsy, let's be practical for a second. If you've got a bunch of high-quality photos in your document, the file size can get huge, right? Well, the Compress Picture tool is your best friend. It shrinks that file size way down, making it perfect for emailing, and it does it without making your images look all grainy and pixelated.
Okay, so our image is prepped, it's optimized. Now for the really fun part. Let's start playing with the creative tools that are going to make your visuals just pop off the page. If you look under the Corrections menu, you'll find all the basic photo editing tools you'd expect. If a photo's a little blurry, you can sharpen it right up. Too dark? Just tweak the brightness and contrast until all those details really stand out. It's all about getting the fundamentals perfect. Now the Color tool, this is where you can make some really big, dramatic changes. With a single click, you can take a full color photo and make it a classic black and white. Or maybe give it a sepia tone for that vintage vibe. You can even tint the entire image with your company's brand color for a really cohesive look.
Okay, this little tool is a game changer. Seriously, let's say you have a company logo that's on a solid white background. Instead of trying to trace around it, you just use Set Transparent Color, click anywhere on the white, and it's gone instantly. It is so good for simple graphics.
But what if you want to get really creative? Well, the Artistic Effects menu takes things to a whole other level. I mean, as one person put it, you can make your photo look like a painting made on a canvas. This is where you really get to turn your photos into pieces of art.
And there are so many cool effects to choose from. With just one click, you can make your photo look like a pencil sketch, an oil painting, or even like you're looking at it through frosted glass. These filters are just an incredibly quick way to add a unique style to your documents. So at this point, you might be thinking, okay, this is awesome, but what if I go too far or just completely change my mind? Well, don't worry. Word has some great built-in safety nets, so you can experiment without any fear. Okay, imagine this. You've done all the work, you removed a background, you added some effects, and then you decide you want to use a totally different image. You don't have to start from scratch. Change Picture lets you swap in a new photo, and Word automatically tries to apply all your formatting to the new one. It is a massive, massive time saver. And this right here, this is your magic undo button. Your get-out-of-jail-free card. If you get a little too wild with the artistic effects or the color corrections, just click Reset Picture. It instantly wipes the slate clean and takes you right back to the original. So seriously, go ahead and play around. So now that we know all the tools in our new secret toolkit, let's put everything together and just appreciate how far we've come. Just take a second and think back to that very first image we looked at. You know, the one stuck in that awkward white box with the colors that were just a bit flat and a file size that was probably way too big to email.
And now, look at the after. Wow, we have an image with zero background, so it blends perfectly.
The colors are bright and vibrant, it's got a little artistic flair, and the file is nice and small, ready to share. And we did all of that without ever leaving Microsoft Word. How cool is that?
You see, all these incredible tools have been there the whole time, just waiting for you to find them. Now that you know how to unlock Word's hidden image studio, you can take your reports, your presentations, your newsletters, whatever you're working on, and turn them into something truly special. Your documents are now a canvas. The only question is, what are you going to create?